Down the hours to the NBA draft, which is, of course, tonight here on ESPN. As we speak, we're 11 hours away from the coverage beginning, and Jalen is fired up and he is ready to go. And Rutledge is ready. J. Will is ready. Go. And information central from Brian Windhorst on our set, who has got stuff ready to work your way. And we start with the draft, of course, tonight, 7 Eastern, ESPN. Zion will go number 1. Averaged 22.6 points a game last year, shot 68% from the floor. That was a Division I freshman record. At number 2, all expectations, Murray State guard Ja Morant going to Memphis. He became the first player in D1 history to average 20 points and 10 assists in a season, a spectacular sophomore year. Then at number 3, all signs point, and we'll get more into this in a few moments, to the Knicks taking Duke's R.J. Barrett. Scored the second most points in a season in Duke history. Only J.J. Redick ever scored more. So those would be the top 3. The way we project our mock draft has at 4 the Pelicans, who of course got this pick in the Laker trade this week, taking Jarrett Culver. The Cavs taking Darius Garland, and the Suns taking Kobe White. And for the latest, here he is for the first of what will be a day filled with reporting on this NBA draft. And we start with the number 4 pick, and Adrian Wojnarowski is with us. Woj, what can you tell us about the Pelicans and their plans at number 4?
Well, they continue to canvass the league to make a deal for that 4th pick, either trying to bring in, a youngish top-line player that they could package perhaps with number 4, maybe one of the other Laker picks that came in the Anthony Davis trade. But one team to watch today pursuing that 4th pick, the Atlanta Hawks. They've got the 8th pick, the 10th pick, and the 17th pick in the first round. They've also got salary cap space to potentially absorb a bad contract from New Orleans, perhaps a Solomon Hill that would give the Pelicans some more cap space, get some money off the books there, and then give them multiple picks in either today's first round or maybe get a pick for the future. But there's still several teams knocking at the door at number 4. I think David Griffin could potentially take that all the way up to the clock tonight on the draft before deciding on whether to move the pick or keep it and select himself at 4.
All right, that is a fascinating thing. It does feel in many ways as though New Orleans sort of controls the top of this draft. Woj, hang tight with us. We're back with you in just a moment right here. In the meantime, let me take it here to Brian Windhorst and start right there. So we hear from Woj, and we've known for a while that the Pelicans, well, a while, the last weekend is when they made the trade. But that feels like a very long time ago, that they are interested in moving that. Give me a sense of whom they might move it for if it's out there.
The Pelicans aren't thrilled with the draft picks. They want players. They have aspirations for this season. So they've talked to some teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves have the 11th pick about a potential switch where the Timberwolves could move up to 4 and the Pelicans could get a player in the deal in addition to the pick. So maybe a guy like Robert Covington, maybe a guy like Darius, guys that they got in the Jimmy Butler deal. The Pelicans are very motivated. In general, the reason the teams want this 4th pick, there's only a couple of point guards that everybody's really excited about, and they're all going to go maybe in the top 5 or 6 with Ja Morant. And this, the focus to get Garland is intense. That's what those teams want to move up for, to try to get Garland. Now, Atlanta has talked to everybody in there. Atlanta has talked to the Knicks. Atlanta has talked to the Pelicans. Atlanta has talked to the Cavs. But they mostly have picks to trade. They don't really have the players that maybe New Orleans wants.
I like this, Jalen. I like New Orleans saying, we can go for it now. We'll build it. Yes, Zion is the centerpiece of it all, and he's going to be a rookie, but they have some other good players there and some who've been developed to that Lakers system. If you add a guy like Saric, for example, to this team, are the Pelicans potentially a playoff team right now?
It depends on how good Zion is. That's all this is going to boil down to. He's going to be the centerpiece around everything that they do. You're trying to build around a guy that we see that's a unique talent coming into the NBA. But I agree with you. You don't want to have too many rookies on the roster. You have enough young players that got experience in L.A. You have Drew Holiday already on the roster, has playoff experience. He's a seasoned veteran. Alvin Gentry is going to do a terrific job of coaching him and easing him in. So I like the situation that New Orleans is setting up.
So much talk about Darius Garland, and you heard Wendy mention it. Obviously, he's a target when you're talking about some of these point guards that could go early. What should people know about Darius on the day of this draft? Your expectations for him? We only saw him play 5 games for Vandy last year.
Look, he's a dynamic guard, can shoot from anywhere on the floor, has a great basketball IQ. And look, it's like every NFL team wants to have a quarterback. right? You need a quarterback. And I think for the NBA and where we are right now, it's such a guard-centric league with guys like Damian Lillard, guys like Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook. Darius Garland could potentially be one of those type of players, but he is 6'1", 6'2". He is on the smaller side, but he's dynamic in pick and rolls.
Okay, the Knicks hold the 3rd pick in tonight's draft. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. They did hold a last-minute workout for Darius Garland on Wednesday as we continue to talk about the intrigue around him, but people wondered, would they actually pass on Duke forward R.J. Barrett? Garland played only those 5 games for Vandy before suffering the season-ending knee injury. You heard Jay talking about that. That would be the 2nd fewest games played by a college player drafted in the top 10 during the one-and-done era. Woj rejoins us here, and obviously we know the Knicks did work out Darius Garland, but what are you hearing as it relates to R.J. Barrett and the Knicks' plans for that number 3 pick, Woj?
Laura, that the Knicks remain committed to selecting R.J. Barrett at number 3. They did work out Darius Garland from Vanderbilt in a private session yesterday, but R.J. Barrett has been their focus really since the night of the lottery at number 3. I think most people see this as a 3-player draft, although Darius Garland is certainly a player with a lot of potential at that guard position, but the Knicks remain committed to R.J. Barrett, and I think in a lot of ways the draft's going to start at number 4, that 1, 2, 3 of Zion Williamson, John Morant to Memphis, and now R.J. Barrett to the Knicks are solidified.
Yeah, and R.J. Barrett has said he is also committed to the Knicks. Thanks so much, Woj. We will see a lot of you today.